Troy Brown took part in a little bit of training today. We'll have to see how he reacts to that, see how he is tomorrow. Hopefully he can train again and hopefully he'll be available for the game. Time will tell on that one. We'll know in the next 24, 48 hours. Jono's started to train, but he's still probably, this weekend's come too soon for him on the back of the hamstring injury, so we don't think he'll be available. We'll find out about Troy closer to the time.
Good options though in reserve in the likes of Tristan and Matt J as well up there if you need to use them.
Yeah, and I think everyone who was there Tuesday night saw they both played well. Both got valuable minutes in terms of game time, and both have contributed already so far this season. So look, we've got lots of options top end of the pitch. I've got to be wise in terms of the team I select for the weekend. It'll be a real tough game against a good opposition. So as long as they're ready to go, then I've got no qualms about putting them in there.
How good is it to have a very tough game midweek ahead of taking on the top of the table side on a Saturday?
Well, it can work both ways. Obviously the journey and the travelling is not ideal, but we used the game for minutes for the ones who needed the minutes. Some more players got some more experience of that level of football, which is vital to their development. But you want to go into any game on the back of winning games. We're coming on the back of 2 defeats, despite us playing quite well on Tuesday against a higher league opposition. We're coming back off a disappointment in terms of the MK Gadon game. Not really giving ourselves a chance, giving away those poor penalties. But look, we're certainly going to be up for Saturday, and everyone's looking forward to it. And it's a proper game of football to look forward to.
It will be indeed. Obviously, the loan window closes tomorrow. Are you thinking that there may be a possibility of bringing a couple of players in?
There's a possibility, with constant conversations with various clubs in terms of loan players. It's not as easy as just signing anyone you want. The targets we're after also by other clubs want them as well. So we're working towards certain players. If we don't get them, I'm happy with my squad. Simple as that. There's still areas I want to improve on, areas I want to get better on in terms of the group. So we'll see what happens in the next couple of days with regards to that. But what I will say is, it's not an end all in terms of the window closing. Youth loans are still an option for us, both in and out in terms of the clubs. So there's lots of possibilities which could happen soon. And
I guess if there are free agents who are not under contract with anybody, they can still join, of course, at any time, can't they?
Yeah, there's quite a few players still out there, still looking for clubs. So, like I said, I've said time and time again, if I bring any players in, they've got to improve the bunch. That's why I can't just bring a player in to bulk up the squad and take the place of a young player at the club. That's not the way we work. So it's got to be quality, and quality ultimately either costs money or is wanted elsewhere as well. So look, it's the way the market is. We've got no problem with that whatsoever. But anyone we bring in will add something to the group.
When you first became a manager, was that the side of perhaps the sport that you knew the least about? Deadline day signings, those sorts of things, trying to persuade players to come here? Because as a coach, obviously you've coached players and you've coached teams and you've played and that sort of thing as well.
Not really. It's part and parcel of the job. Simple as that. Deadline day is irrelevant really. It's just a cut-off point. You want to get your business done as soon as you possibly can. I did that over the summer. Yeah. And the loan window goes to a certain point. Like I say, youth loans are still an option for us. It's not fully closed for players both in and out. Like I said, it's part and parcel of the job. I'm enjoying it. I'm enjoying speaking to players, speaking to agents, speaking to managers. Gives you an idea of what other people's expectations are.
One of the youngsters who impressed, and you talked about him, Archie Collins, on Tuesday night. You said about obviously, he's still got to work his way into kind of the first League 1, League 2 team, so to speak. How far off do you think he is, and how many other Archies are there waiting in the wings that we may well see in the next 2, 3, 4 months? Yeah,
there's a few of them. There is. I'll be honest, I think he's ready. He's just been unlucky so far in terms of the league campaign. Nicky, Hiram, Jordan Tilson, Jake Taylor have all played a lot of league games, so they're a little bit ahead of him, but I think he's ready. I think I've got no problem in terms of injuries or suspensions or form or fitness. He'll go in and play. I'm sure he'll do a good job and he'll improve, he'll keep improving. There's a lot more to come from Archie, there really is. We see it on a daily basis on the training pitch. I think the rest of the world's only seen glimpses of it so far. And then behind him there is a whole host of players coming through. We've got a game at Bristol Rovers tonight in terms of our 23s, which is going to be a really young team. And even below the 23s is a good group of 18s, and there's players coming through below that as well. So it's a conveyor belt from Exeter City, really is. I said on Tuesday there's a reason behind it. It's a good club to be at for young players, and there's no surprise we keep producing.
Indeed. Let's look ahead to the game at the weekend. Lincoln City, obviously the last time these two teams played it was at St James Park for a place at Wembley, and it was a fantastic result from Exeter's point of view. We'll all be hoping that Hiram Boateng dribbles round everybody twice from the halfway line again and scores, won't we?
Well, yeah, that would be nice, but it'd be a totally different game. Yeah. They've got different playing personnel, we've got different players, different staff. it's irrelevant really what happened last season. Not many people have spoke too much about the playoffs in general because it was a disappointing time for us the way it finished. So it's very much a fresh start from everyone. I'm sure Lincoln are the same. I'm sure their manager's saying the same thing to their players. He's invested well in a good group of players. He really has. So it'll be a tough test for us, but we're ready for that test. I see it being a physical game, start to finish, a high tempo game, a high standard game from two groups of really good players at this level.
I was going to talk about the physicality. When people talk about Lincoln, they do think of physicality and kind of the big players they have. Is there more to Lincoln than being rough and tough though?
Oh yeah, of course there is. As I said, he's signed good players, plain and simple, and we're not soft ourselves. Certainly not. We've got some big characters, some big personalities. We're physically tough enough. I still want us to be tougher every now and then, but we're physically quite a dominant team, so that's part of League Two football, week in, week out, regardless of who we're playing this weekend, Lincoln or not. Physicality is part of League Two football, and we're not shy of that fact. I'm just looking forward to the game, to be honest with you. I think it'll be a really good game. Hopefully we can get as many fans there as possible. I'm sure they'll have sold out their away contingent. I know it's not too many at the moment because of the developments at the stadium, but we're all looking forward to it.